let's go over to my colleague Shubhendu Ghosh, who is in Washington, D.C. He scans to how prominent newspapers are covering Trump poll promises, even when he'll take 2 months to take over the mantle of power in USA. Take a look.
This magnificent tower that you're looking at is called the Washington Memorial. It's over 550 feet tall monument. It's an obelisk in the memory of the first president of America, George Washington. That was the year 1789 when he became the president. We are in 2024. We now know the 47th president of the US. Donald Trump is the president-elect. Let's scan through the newspapers to see what's in the papers regarding his presidency and other stories. Washington Post, the first paper, is carrying the picture of the outgoing president, Joe Biden. This is after he promised a smooth transition of power and reinforced the legitimacy of the electoral system. There's another article following that picture. It says Biden welcomes to power a man he deemed a threat. Sort of political irony. Biden has been for the past 5 years talking about how his presidency, the reason why he ran for office was to keep Donald Trump at bay, calling him a fascist and a threat to democracy. And now Joe Biden must welcome Donald Trump back into the White House. Another article we're looking at is about the kind of legislations that Donald Trump and the Republican Party would be looking to do, especially in the domain of tax cuts. GOP, Republican Party, is set for quick work on trillions in tax cuts. The 2017 law extension, new reduction are the aim. If the party sweeps the Congress, they've already got the Senate. All eyes are on whether they'll be able to retain the House of Representatives. If they're able to, a lot of legislations could pass smoothly for them. President-elect Donald Trump is poised to push swiftly for new tax cuts if Republicans win the full control of the Congress, that is both Senate and the House of Representatives. So the next paper we're looking at is the New York Times. On the front page, it analyzes what led to the big win for Donald Trump. It says President-elect spun his own grievances into political gold. Goes on to explain it. It says that he became, as it were, a vessel for the anger of millions of Americans, especially cost of living and other crises. He says that the grievances that he would talk about against the administration, they became, as it were, the narrative of the MAGA movement, Make America Great Again, to which the Republican Party also associated itself. And those grievances also seem to reflect the grievances of people, ordinary Americans, against the administration. And the failed assassination attempt only added to his popularity, especially among his followers. And the final paper I'm looking at is the Wall Street Journal. It talks about foreign policy, likely foreign policy of Donald Trump. The headline says Trump to renew maximum pressure against Iran with new oil sanctions. President-elect Donald Trump, the article says, plans to drastically increase sanctions on Iran and throttle its oil sales as part of the aggressive strategy to undercut Tehran's support of violent Middle East proxies and its nuclear program. Remember earlier during his first term, Donald Trump took a dim view of Iran, especially vis-a-vis the Six-Nation Agreement that Iran had entered into that sought to curb Iran's nuclear weapons work. So those were some of the highlights of the papers published today. With camera person Jay Shankar, Shubhendu Ghosh for DD India in Washington, D.C.